Welcome to ComedyMX's Cartoon Classics channel. Binge out on the animated Superman, Popeye, Bugs Bunny and Friends, Technicolor classic tunes, animators UB Iwerks and Max Fleischer, Mickey Mouse, Betty Boop, and all your cartoon favorites. Animate your everyday at Cartoon Classics channel. So return with us now to those golden days of yesteryear.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of the prehistoric present. The morning sun beamed down on the entrance of the cave home of Scratch, the world's only living caveman. Scratch, as you know, fell asleep several thousand years ago. And probably would have been sleeping yet. But the first atomic test explosion blew him right out of the past and into the present. And now with his friends, Colonel Bleep and little Squeek, the caveman's life is filled with exciting adventures, wonderful adventures. Like the time Scratch smelled smoke and saw a fiery glow inside his cave. He dashed inside to find Squeek with a giant birthday cake, all aglow with candles, just for Scratch. The happy caveman jumped for joy and made a very special wish when he blew out all the candles. And then Scratch felt sad, and big tears dripped from his eyes, for he felt sure that his birthday wish could never, ever possibly come true. For Scratch had wished to return once again to his prehistoric past, to play again with Dimples, his lovable pet dinosaur. Yes, Scratch missed Dimples very much, and now he would never see her again. But to Colonel Bleep, nothing seems impossible, and so the spaceman's birthday gift to Scratch was a golden key. The key to Scratch's wish come true, for this was the key that operated Colonel Bleep's Futomic Time Transformer, that fantastic invention which made it possible to transport anything or anybody anywhere in time or space. Quickly, the caveman hopped aboard, and Bleep adjusted the time controls to allow Scratch to visit for 1 hour with Dimples back thousands of years in the past. Squeak turned the golden key as Scratch waved farewell. Then the whole contraption suddenly vanished as it raced backwards, carrying the caveman through time. Then suddenly, there he was, back home again with Mama Scratch, Papa Scratch, and Dimples, dear old Dimples, Scratch's pet dinosaur. Meanwhile, back in the present, Bleep and Squeak watched the dials and signals of the Futomic Time Transformer as the minutes ticked by. The hand of the clock was rapidly approaching the time for Scratch's scheduled return. There's the signal. Now Bleep throws the reverse control switch. But Scratch is having such a wonderful time, he forgets to climb aboard, and the machine returns empty. Quickly, the Colonel sends it racing back. And again it returns. But this time with Dimples. Now Bleep is worried, for only enough Futomic power remains in the machine for one more try. Scratch must come back this time, or he will be left forever in the past. Once again, Bleep throws the switch. And just in time, Scratch jumps aboard the Futonic transport, and now he's really on his way back. But wait, the power's beginning to fade, and the years are clicking off slower and slower until finally, the machine stops dead somewhere in the past century. Poor Scratch is stuck back in the 1800s. Now he'll never get back. But wait, what's that strange noise? And that, it's getting louder and louder, closer and closer. But what can it be? Why, it's Scratch, riding back from the 19th century in an early automobile, towing the rundown Futonic time transformer behind him. And so Scratch had a wonderful birthday. And now he's back with his friends again. You can just bet that no one else in the whole wide world ever got a pet dinosaur for a present. Yes, it's fun to dream about the past, but for real fun, there's no time like the present. And now, stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of the Runaway Rocket. It was midnight. An intense full moon beamed down on 00 Island as little Squeak slept in his cozy bed and Scratch snored loudly in his darkened cave below. All was peaceful as Colonel Bleep studied the Futonic radar scanner. With this instrument, the Colonel could watch any unusual movements in the universe. And this very night, a giant new rocket was scheduled to be launched by the United States of America from an experimental rocket launching base on the east coast of Florida. Yes, there it was. As Bleep watched the scanner, he saw the rocket soar skyward at tremendous speed, then level off towards the wastes of the South Atlantic Ocean. This was a test firing, and Bleep was pleased to see the Earth people making such excellent progress with rockets. But at that instant, something seemed to go wrong. The moon appeared to concentrate all its glowing power on the nose of the missile, forcing it to veer off its planned course and to streak instead directly towards 00 Island. In only seconds, it would come crashing down to destroy Squeak's little dream house, Scratch's peaceful cave, and Colonel Bleep's headquarters for his secret mission here on Earth. In a flash, Bleep darted into the sky to meet the speeding projectile. Quickly, he maneuvered himself between the mysterious moon rays and the onrushing missiles, and with a blast of Futonic power, he brought the rocket to a screeching halt in mid-air. Using his Futurian skill in the powers of reverse propulsion, Bleep safely returned the rocket to explore the launching site, ready for use in further test flights in the future. Then Bleep hurried back to his island base to begin some very serious thinking. What was wrong on this peaceful isle? Why had Scratch recently tumbled into the open jaws of a giant sea serpent to be nearly trapped forever deep inside? Everyone knows that all sea monsters are purely imaginary and not real creatures at all, except for this particular sea serpent. Yes, this monster had been real enough. And then a terrible termite had kidnapped poor Squeak, the little wooden puppet, for a tasty dinner. But what had caused an ordinarily tiny insect to grow into a huge and terrifying monster? Bleep turned to his microscope to examine again those traces of interplanetary wood dust which he had discovered on the wings of the termite. The Colonel was sure this strange substance held a valuable clue. And that runaway rocket, the way the moon had concentrated its rays on the nose of the device, you would have almost thought it was being guided by moon power. Colonel Bleep was certain somewhere in outer space, a powerful and evil force was being directed against Bleep and his friends. But only one person in the entire universe had such evil power. That person was Doctor Destructo. But of course, Doctor Destructo was at this moment a prisoner in a space bubble anchored in the outer ring of Saturn. Or was he? Bleep had to be sure. He switched on his Butonic frequency transmitter and directed a secret code message to the Interplanetary Intelligence High Command on the planet Futura. Advise status of Doctor Destructo immediately. Soon, Bleep would have his reply. But meanwhile, another day was beginning on 00 Island.